Good morning, South Africans. This is Peyton Dennison from the PJD Law Firm. My staff has asked me to do a short take on the Chidimma Controversy, the CAC. And my take is as follows. The facts or assumed facts that we have, because Home Affairs and other authorities are still conducting the investigations, is that Chidimma was born in 2001 in Johannesburg. Second fact, assumed fact, is that her mother is a Mozambican national, her father is a Nigerian national. Neither of them are ambassadors, diplomats, permanent residents, or citizens of South Africa. Given those four assumed facts, the question is then, is she a South African citizen? Because being a South African citizen is a requirement for participating in Miss South Africa. In order to answer this question, we need to look at the law. And the law would be the South African Citizenship Act as amended. However, we must bear in mind that the South African Citizenship Act was amended 3 times. Once in 1997, once again in 2004, and once again in 2010. So we need to look at the law as it stood in 2001. That would be after the First Amendment. And at that time, the law was quite clear that you can be a citizen if you are born in South Africa. But subsection 2 of section 2 made it clear that there's a condition. And that condition was that at least one of your parents must be a South African citizen. In this case, none of her parents are South African citizens. None of them have permanent residence. None of them are diplomats or anything like that. So the answer would simply be, given these assumed facts, that Chidimma is not a South African citizen. As a consequence of that, she cannot participate in Miss South Africa. I've been asked another question, and the question is, what do we do if Chidimma's mother is indeed a South African, as she claims to be, right? I said, well, if her mom is indeed a South African, then Chidimma will be a South African because one of her parents are South African. However, what we need to determine is whether the lady who says she is South African is indeed the lady she claims to be. And the example we have made is as follows. The real person that is Chidimma's mother, for argument's sake, we can call her Maria. Some people are assuming that she's a Mozambican citizen. She is saying that she's not a Mozambican citizen, she is actually a South African citizen, right? Then there is the second person whose identity has allegedly been stolen. For argument's sake, let's call that person Thandi. Now, for us to determine whether this lady who says she is Thandi is really Thandi, we should not look at the documents. Because remember, Maria has told you that she's Thandi, and Maria, if she's done her job properly, is going to make sure that all her ducks are in a row, and the documentation is going to show that she's Thandi. But that's not what we're trying to find out. We're trying to find out, is Chidimma's real mother a South African citizen? And the way we do that would be through DNA. Chidimma's real mom. If the DNA matches, then she's the right person. If there's a correlation to show that these people are siblings, or these people are parent and child, or these people are relatives, then certainly we can say that this person, Chidimma's real mom, is the South African person, and she is indeed who she claims to be. But if there's a mismatch, then we can say that this person is actually the Mozambican that we were talking about. But looking at the documents themselves is not going to solve all the issues here, because the documents are simply going to show who claims to be Thandi on the documentation. But what we are trying to find out is who is actually this person's mom. Because if the document says what we think it's saying, Thandi is certainly a South African citizen. And that's how Chidimma eventually ended up with her papers. Right? Yeah. So if we then answer the question that these papers belong to a South African, and this is this person's child, for sure, then Chidimma is a South African. But that's not the question we should be asking. The question that we should be asking is this lady whose documents are on the birth certificate of Chidimma actually her mother? So we need to find that person, identify that person, say this is actually Thandi, and then do a test.
So instead of trying to validify Chidimma's documents, we should be trying to actually validify the mom's.
What we should be trying to is to do both. Because the documents would show that Chidimma has a mother. This mother's name is Thandi, right? That's what the documents show, that the mother is this South African person. But her real mother, the one who actually gave birth to her, might be this Mozambican who's acting and pretending to be Thandi. So she's got the documents of Thandi, and she's been using them for at least the last 23 years. So that track record is there. There will be very few records to show otherwise. What we need to determine, number one, is who is the real Thandi. Forget about Chidimma. Okay? Because Chidimma knows the mother knows her. Chidimma says this lady, who is Thandi, but her name might really be Maria. This is my mother. Please test this person. And how do we determine that this person is indeed Thandi? We go and find Thandi's siblings. We do DNA tests between them. And they will then determine that this is the real Thandi. If she's not Thandi, then she must tell us who she is, but she's not Thandi.
The family tree doesn't lie.
The family tree will be there. If Thandi's mother is still alive, which could be likely, she must then come forward. Because Thandi had papers, right? So Thandi's got parents. We need to find the grandparents, we need to find the siblings of this lady to verify that she's indeed who she says she is. Maybe it'll be easy. Maybe everyone will walk into the room and we'll see that, no, man, Maria, you're very light skinned. No, everyone here on Thandi's side of the family is very, very different. Or everyone is still, or something, right? Then we can start speculating. But if these two people look similar, we need to make sure. But we must remember that the truth is not subjective or relative.
Yes, so
The truth is one thing.
Yeah, objective.
Okay? The truth is a fact.
Yeah.
There can be a million wrong turns. But if you're trying to get to Kuruman, there'll be one turn.
Yeah, my question is, as an average South African, or as of those that share the same values, not values, opinion, right, or questions that I also have, is if Thandi, right, Chidimma's mom, right, whoever's like,
Thandi's alleged mom.
yeah,
Thandi's the alleged mom.
the
of
alleged
Chidimma.
mom, yes, of
And the
Chidimma.
real mom is Maria.
Yes.
Okay. But Maria says Thandi and this one and the same person. Because Maria says she's Thandi. She's masquerading as Thandi. We need to find out who's the truth.
Yes.
This is like a whole Jesus Christ story.
So it's like,
Who's your father?
so it's like, if Chidimma's mom is who she says she is, then why would she need to steal somebody else's identity?
Yes,
or
so
to register Chidimma?
Yes, so what we're
Because she
saying.
is South African.
So the question is, if Chidimma's real mom is a South African, validly so, why would she need to use someone else's papers? Okay?
Yeah.
That's a second gear issue, because the assumption that we are making is that she used someone else's papers.
No, we just
Yes, we are. We're assuming.
Yeah, we're assuming.
So before we ask why did she use someone else's papers, we need to determine that she used someone else's papers. And the way we do that is to verify that the person that you claim to be is indeed the person you are. So that's why it's important to do at least 2 DNA tests.
Yes.
We need to do a DNA test between this mother, who is Chidimma's mom, real mom, and Chidimma, to see if they're related. Right? If they are not related, it's a whole nother story, because then a baby's been stolen. Then Chidimma might be South African, but she was stolen by these people that pretended to be someone else. That would be a nice movie. Yeah, but that would be a new story. So, but that would be the first thing, and it's an important link because we need to link it to Chidimma.
Yes.
This is not about the mother at this point. First, we say, Chidimma, who's your mother? We look at Chidimma's DNA, look at the mom's DNA, see, okay, you guys are related. This is your mother. Then what we need to do is to find out whether this mother is indeed the person who's on the documents. And the way we do that is that we look at family members of the person on the document. This Thandi person, whose documents she used, we look who's her brother, who's her father, who's her sister, etc. Then we test Chidimma's real mother and those people to identify whether they are siblings or not. Okay? If they are siblings, then we can say that Chidimma's mother didn't lie. She is the person she claims to be. And that person is a South African. Therefore, Chidimma's a South African. That's it. But if either one of those tests don't come back as positive, then unfortunately for Chidimma, your mother is not the South African person, therefore you are not the South African person. But if there is no link between the mother and Chidimma, then there's a whole other story. We need to bring back our daughter. We need to find the real parents. Yes. To say, hey, it'll be that type of story.
It's also possible
Yes, it's also possible, right? So it might be that she used this other person's documents, but this is maybe the more interesting story. Perhaps Chidimma is actually Tandi's child. And Chidimma's mom stole her after she was registered.
Could be.
That would be insane.
Yes, that's a theory. That's a theory.
There's so many theories.
But that one is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then she's South African.
Yes, because then she said, "Listen, I used someone else's documents." No, I didn't use someone else's documents. It's not my baby. This is Tandi's child. Tandi couldn't take care of the child, or she
Something
abandoned the
happened
child,
to
or I
Tandi.
stole the child. We don't know. I saw a child, right? I'm a Mozambican lady. I came to South Africa. I found a child at my doorstep. I named the child Chidimma because my husband was Nigerian. And we raised her as our own. In that case, Chidimma is a victim and her mother is a hero. See what I'm saying? Then Chidimma is certainly a South African. But her mother's whereabouts are unknown. Then the real villain here might be the mom if she threw her away.
The mom and the dad.
Yes, it might be. Might be. So you see, when speculation, all this happens. Right? But all of the speculation is sorted out as soon as we do 2 DNA tests. Is this your real mother? Which is the one I'm more excited about. If we find out that Chichi's mother is not really her mother, that is a new story. Because then the search is on, we need to find this girl's mother. We need to find this girl's mother.
I actually saw something on YouTube stating that this is Chi-Chi's real mom. I actually saw something like that.
Yes, I think that's a...
Literally.
So the other things of people stealing identities, that's a possibility, right? But both of those possibilities are resolved through DNA evidence.
True.
That's it. We need to test to see if this is your real mom. Then we need to test to see if your mom is indeed this Tandi or whoever lady that is on your birth certificate. So we're going to need to find siblings of that lady. Kumbule Kaya must be involved.
And Home Affairs.
Home Affairs, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Track down the surname.
Yep. Well, not necessarily the surname. You see, because the surname does not necessarily show you siblings that happen through a female line.
Oh.
And it also doesn't show you siblings that happen through unmarried lines. Okay? So if everyone is married, then everyone would have their father's surname. However, if one man has 6 babies by 6 different baby mamas, all those kids have different surnames. So we won't track the babies through the surnames. Right? We need to track them through blood. Because even if it's your half brother, it would show that you guys are related. You share a father, you share a mother.
True.
And there are some kids, many kids, who bear surnames that are neither their mothers or their fathers.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're with your mom had 3 babies, she married someone, then all of you are now that guy's, you are all Mazibukos now.
Yeah.
But you were a child, you were Bobby, you were Dennis. Then we're like, hey, we're trying to make a family here. Everyone's Mazibuku now. So you have a surname that is neither your father's nor your mother's. Okay, so don't follow the surname. Don't care about the surname. You don't care about the surname. No.
It's
No.
like
You
his
see,
gods.
and the person that's entitled to determine surnames is not your father, it is your mother.
Yes.
Yes, your father can come and acknowledge paternity, but your mother decides your surname, what your surname is. So if your mom wants to say that it's your baby, it's your baby. It's your
That's
baby.
true.
You see? So I think it's an interesting one. I'll be really interested if the story takes another turn. Because then we owe Chidimma an apology.
Yeah.
A serious apology.
Yeah.
Right? But it's one that's based on our ignorance because we didn't know.
Yeah.
And it'll be something that really rips our family apart because we're going to want to know. You know, if a 10-day-old baby ends up at your doorstep, right? When are you going to tell them that, listen, we are not your parents? What would you tell them? That we are not your parents and we don't know who your parents are.
That's
So
true.
you're no man's land. Do you want to tell them that?
No. Rather not.
No. That would be very, very sad. No? That would be very, very sad for Chidi. But in either case, if her mother stole the identity of this other lady, it's not Chidimma's fault. Okay? She was a baby. If her mother took Chidimma in because someone had abandoned her, or it's not Chidimma's fault. If her mother stole her, It's not Chidimma's fault. So Chidimma would be innocent under all circumstances, yeah, unless, as an adult, she found out that you are not my real parents, or the parents on my birth certificate are not the right ones, and then she proceeded to act as if she is a South African citizen.